Welcome to the Whatever Dating Talk podcast. We're coming to you live from Isla Vista, Santa Barbara County, California. I'm your host, Brian Atlas. That's Brian with an X. The X is silent. You don't pronounce it. Joined by my co-host, Kiki. She changed her name from a couple weeks ago. Thank you to tracysdog.com for the complimentary mannequin, let's just call it. We're going to get the link in bio soon. This is the Dating Talk podcast where we talk about dating, debauchery, and relationships. Anything goes. Shout out to Fresh and Fit for the inspiration. Check them out on YouTube. This is only our second dating show. We're doing it live, so appreciate your understanding while we're still working out the flow and pacing. Also, English is my second language, so please excuse me if I stutter or speak slow. A few quick announcements before the show begins. This channel is viewer supported. We are heavily demonetized by YouTube, so I humbly request your patronage. All the money I make, I pour back into making videos. You know, the studio rent in Santa Barbara is crazy. I want to get more cameras for new angles. Right now we've got 3. I'd like to get at least 2 more cameras, more mics for more guests, better computer. We've had so many computer issues. You can support us in one or more of the following ways. You can send a super chat. I and the panel will read, answer all super chats intermittently. We will display all super chats of any rate in stream overlay. Join and become a member of the channel. You'll get access to over 100 plus exclusive videos, and you get a very cool icon next to your name in chat and comments. You can also gift memberships to other viewers too. Join the Patreon, same perks as joining the channel, minus the icon next to your username. Check out our merch. We don't print on shitty blanks. It's all premium, comfortable material. Go to shop.whatever.com. If you want to max out your support for the show without these platforms taking their cut, you can always donate straight up via PayPal. Here's a big one. We also stream to Twitch. We are live there right now, twitch.tv/whatever. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to a Twitch account. And every month you can sub totally free on Twitch. Takes 1 minute to set up. Quick, free, easy way to support the show. All links are in the description. We need chat mods on YouTube and Twitch, help with timestamps, etc. DM us if you're down to help. We also need a studio intern. If you live in Santa Barbara, DM me. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to have the guests introduce themselves. So please tell us your name, age, occupation, or school major, and relationship status. And let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Deanna. I am 23, and I am a college student, and I am single. Oh.
All right, I'm Brooke. I'm 24. I'm a coffee shop manager. I just graduated with my bachelor's, and I am in a relationship.
Oh.
Samantha, you go ahead, Samantha.
Hi, I am Samantha. I live in Santa Barbara, and I am 39 and single. I am a coach for entrepreneurs and a mentor.
Do you want to plug your Instagram or your website?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can find me at Samantha Love Blossom if you want some sparkly awakening codes to activate your wealth and abundance.
All right. My name is Coco. My Instagram handle is at Queen Coco Puffs with a Z at the end. I am 19. I am majoring in business and entrepreneurship, and I currently work at Los Agaves in Santa Barbara.
You work at Los Agaves?
Yes.
Can you hook it up, you think? By the way, for those watching, Los Agaves is a really good Mexican restaurant here in Santa Barbara. So
yeah, one of the top 5, I believe, restaurants in Santa Barbara.
That black salsa?
Oh, yeah.
That's the good one.
Yeah.
That's the good one.
I'll look it up.
Okay. Okay, and so you two are single, and you two are currently in a relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are they long-term relationships or kind of shorter term? Or?
I mean, I don't know what you would consider long-term, like time span.
Yeah, like how long were you guys have been together?
I think 8 months.
Same.
Okay.
Like 7 months, almost 8.
Okay. Got it. And your name again is Dia, correct? Deanna. But okay, on Instagram it's okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
You can call me D though.
Call you D.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Got it. So the first question of the night Is dating easier for men or for women? And we're going to start with Coco here.
Okay. My opinion is I feel that dating is a little bit harder for men. I feel like women have these standards that most men are going to have to uphold to meet their standards and to even get into a relationship. Meanwhile, men have to definitely pursue a woman if they want her. I don't see many women going after men these days, as we should. So I feel like men have to put in a lot more effort financially in this economy. I mean, I feel like most women, when you go out on the first date, if it's a guy's idea, you want him to pay. So I feel like there's a financial aspect to that as well. Not to mention just emotional stuff. I feel like it's harder for men to explain their emotions and for that to come off to women. So I feel like it's a lot for a guy to even be open to a relationship.
Good answer.
Wow. That was good. Write that down.
Take notes.
Samantha, what do you think?
I feel like it's probably the same for both men and women, depending on their mindsets. And I think that some women naturally have a mindset that, okay, it's like it's easy to date. And I think some men have a natural mindset that it's easy to date. I've actually met gentlemen that were not very physically good looking, but they had a really amazing positive mindset, and they would just have like women flocking towards them. And I've also met very attractive men that didn't have a very good mindset that had a really hard time dating. So I think from my perspective, it's probably the same. It just depends on what this person and what their emotional energetics are.
So you think it's about the same for men and women. They both face the same level of difficulty, broadly speaking, when it comes to dating.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of have my first thought was about it also kind of depends on your sexual orientation, because there are different expectations depending on who you're trying to date. So for me, I've primarily dated men. I think it's easier for them to be open to the idea of going out without any expectations of it leading to a relationship. And I think for my personal experience as a woman, it always comes across my mind that if I don't see this person fitting into a big part of my life, which would be a committed relationship, then it's not worth my time to keep pursuing someone like that, if that makes sense. This is all just from my personal experience, but especially in the sort of college arena, it's a whole different I guess playing field when a lot of people's mindsets is focused on hookup culture rather than dating, which is fine. It's obviously something that you need to experience if you're open to it and can mentally handle it. But I think I've taken the biggest mental toll in dating rather than any of the guys that I've dated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that it's certainly different based on your sexual orientation. I would probably say, well, and it also depends, because I think when we say dating, it's how do we break that down? Are we talking just casual dating, serious dating? I think we can probably say, I would say gay men, as far as hooking up, that shit's easy. I don't have firsthand experience, but I've heard some stories. They get on the app. Do you want to hook up? Yes. Very straightforward. That's what I've heard. If there's any gay men in the chat, feel free to, maybe we could rank it. So maybe for lesbian women, maybe that shit's, I don't know how that gets navigated.
Those
Dating
relationships
women
are very let's move in together. It's very,
you have some experience, or are you bi, or?
well, I just know people, and they're I'm the stereotypical lesbian. I've always dating people. I always end up living with them very quickly. But of course, I don't know anything firsthand, so I can't really say much more.
Okay, got it. We'll come back.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. But And what do you think?
I kind of agree with Samantha a lot. It kind of depends on like what your expectation is and what your standards are, I guess, in a relationship. I know I hear all the time from my friends that I'm like super picky, and for me, dating is freaking hard. So hard. But I think that's like also my choice. It's like I'm choosing to not go for some of these men because my expectations are not up to like what they are giving me, you know?
What are your expectations?
I guess I just want to be like treated really well, and like what you brought up about hookup culture, like that, especially like dating in college. I think dating is easier for men because girls are, I feel like, more open to relationships in college, whereas guys are more about like during college who they like, their body count and like how many girls they want to get with and things like that.
Okay. So you think you agree with Samantha. You think that it's about the same level of difficulty.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you are.
But you said you've faced quite a bit of difficulty with dating. And and is that because you said you're very picky? Mm-hmm. And can you go into that a bit? Like, in what ways are you picky?
I think some of it has to do with like me, myself, and like my emotional capacity. I don't know if I have reached the point where I can be really like open and vulnerable and super intimate with another person, especially that being a man. But I feel like guys a lot of times can kind of like fit into work, like being in a relationship with their partner, because they're kind of like not as, I haven't met that many guys with like certain expectations, you know what I mean? Like certain standards that they're like, if they're not this, no. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like they kind of.
So most guys have no standards, is what you're saying. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. And so, but you do have standards.
Yeah, and like I think I'm to an extreme.
Wait, you have them to an extreme?
Yeah, like I just feel
what are your let's hear it. What is extreme?
Like I saw in your last episode, you asked about bad boys,
Okay.
and I feel like I want like a really nice guy, but like it can't just be like a boring nice guy, you know?
Ooh,
Which it's like asking too much. I understand.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, but I also don't want a guy that's like, I know my worth, and like I don't want to be treated like shit, you know?
Okay.
And where I am, especially too, like in college, I feel like boys haven't reached that maturity yet.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's like their time to live. So they're like, fuck it, like we're in college. And then they take things seriously once more they're like out of college.
So you think that when men are younger, they're kind of commitment averse, whereas when maybe they get out of college, they get a bit older, then they're more open to a relationship?
Like getting tied down.
But do you think, so you said you were picky, so do you think that there's a guy that was interested in you that would have been ready to be in a relationship with you right then and there, but he didn't meet your standards?
I feel like maybe we didn't get too far to where like I wanted to commit, but like in that case, I just wanted to maybe like take things slower, and like he didn't, I don't think, wanted that. So in my point of view, like if you don't want that, then I'm not gonna give you my time, you know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we hear some more of the standards?
Definitely like a nice guy that has like good morals and values and things like that.
You want a nice guy, but you said
Not too
not
nice.
boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so nice but not too nice, and not boring. Okay.
So like they could be like adventurous, but they don't have to play these stupid games with you, you know?
And when you say boring, do you mean like they have hobbies, or do you mean like they're exciting personalities?
Exciting more in a relationship way, I guess. It can't
Okay.
just be like, let me take you out, and then it just be like all good, I guess. Like there has to be some sort of like ups and downs.
There has to be some drama. Okay.
A little.
All right, we're getting there. Okay. Interesting. And do you think that I feel like nice guys aren't capable of eliciting that though? That you want to come in? By the way, if one of
Chime
you
in,
wants to come
Samantha.
in on something, feel free. Just treat it like a conversation.
So I feel like what you're actually wanting is when someone is a genuinely nice guy versus like when they're creating obligations inside of their system. So you're like a spiritual being, so you're gonna feel that, you know. So if they're not being genuine, like, and they're just being like a robotic nice, like that's not actually gonna like light you up, you know.
Exactly.
But if they're like genuinely like into you and like, I think that is gonna like just turn you on, you know.
Yeah, I think I recently found out I was a Leo Venus. And that might be it.
The termites have spread.
Okay.
Everyone well, they've died.
Okay, so, all right, just curiosity. Show of hands, who believes in astrology here?
I take what I want.
Yeah, take what resonates.
Okay.
My
all
mom
right.
taught me all about it when I was growing up, so it's like, you know, just a thing.
So is there like a guy who, if he's a Taurus, no, I will not date a Taurus.
No, it's not like that.
No.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
I will never date a Taurus.
You'd never date a Taurus.
Coming from a
Self
Taurus.
So you're a Taurus. Okay. I'm a Taurus.
Oh.
I'm hurt.
She said
I'm
I
hurt.
wouldn't date you.
Okay, so are there other signs that are off limits for dating?
Leos, they cheat.
Leos are cheaters.
Yes.
I feel like Aquarius men are just kind of known for the toxicity. I'm not saying from personal experience.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not talking from personal experience, but that's just what I've heard.
Can I talk about your Venus and Leo?
Oh, sure.
Vitality's room.
Huh?
Can I?
I'm curious. I want to hear it, but
No.
go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So in your astrology, there's two signs. There's your Venus and your Mars. And the Venus is your feminine way of loving, and your Mars is your masculine way of loving. And for and for her,
Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
And for her, if Venus is like in Leo, then she needs someone that's gonna like honor her, maybe like take her out to really fancy restaurants. Like she needs to feel like really pampered, you know, like because it's important for like for her to be seen in a specific way, and that's actually gonna like light you up, basically.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, just really quick again. So I think the consensus, well, there's not a consensus yet. So you think men have it a bit harder. Did you say you think men have it a bit harder? I know you two
Kind of.
thought it was about even, about equal.
I think I don't think there's a solid answer.
No
that
solid answer.
that I could lean
certainly,
towards.
like there could be a guy has no issues and a woman who's struggling significantly.
Yeah.
So there's certainly outliers.
course.
I think broadly speaking, generally speaking, do you think are you leaning in a certain direction? Most
No.
men versus most women, let's say.
I have no answer for that. Yeah.
Okay,
I just say,
no answer. That's fine.
You know, per person, it's different.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess let me add a question to this. And this is a big component of dating. Who do you think has an easier time getting laid? Men or women?
Women, for sure.
Samantha?
I think probably women.
Brooke?
I don't know. I think men, to be honest. Well, men.
It's okay it's okay to
think-
disagree with the rest of the panel.
Like when you say easier time getting laid, like do you mean like they seek it out more, or it's like people are saying yes to them more. Like
It's basically just the act of being able to have sex.
Yeah, I think men.
Okay, you think men. Okay.
I think they're more concerned about seeking it out.
I would agree with that. I'd say they're more concerned with it, but if a woman was as inclined to get sex as a man was, do you think she'd have an easier time? Like, let's say you're in a new city, you don't know anybody, you have a dating app though. Let's just say you get on the dating app. Who's going to be able to fuck that night? The guy or the girl? Not to say a guy couldn't do that, but who is more likely going to be able to, like, you know?
I think the guy. I just think the
guy.
mindset is way more like driven to actually get sex, whereas like I'd just be like, I don't know. Like, I guess if it's not happening, it's not happening.
Okay. You feel free to chime in.
It's like that saying that's like girls choose who they sleep with and guys sleep with who they can get.
Yeah, I think it goes
or something.
Women. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. So
Yeah.
women sleep with who they want. Men sleep with who they can.
Yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
Yes.
I mean,
Well said.
I mean, I thought about this, and I don't know. I heard this thing one time. Basically, like, say you're on the street, right? You don't know anyone here. You're brand new. You're a guy. You go up to a girl. You say, "Hey, you want to fuck?" This girl is definitely gonna think you're totally weird. She's gonna look at you like, "Get the hell away from me," right? And if a girl goes up to a guy, 9 out of 10 times he's gonna say, "Yeah, come home with me."
Yeah.
Facts. Facts. We actually, a long time ago, I did this video as a social experiment where I had a girl go up to 100 guys, ask if they wanted to have sex, point blank, and like 50, I think, keep in mind, it was here in Isla Vista.
Oh.
It was just middle of the day, too, not like at night at a party. People are walking home from class.
No.
And like 50% of the dudes were like, yes, let's do it. Andrea, by the way. And then I did that shit. I asked 100 women. I got like one maybe.
Wow.
I got a maybe, 1 out of 100. So I would say I think guys struggle. Guys struggle. Mm-hmm. There's maybe like the top tier of guys. They can, you know.
Go up to anyone and it would be like.
Yeah, I mean, even then, honestly, I think even like a really, really attractive guy
It would still be seen
would
as-
struggle more than an average girl just going up to someone in the street and just being like, "Hey, do you want to fuck? Do you want to
I
hook
agree.
up?" So, okay, we got a pretty based panel here. So, next question, and kind of staying on this theme. So, as far as dating goes, how many men would you say you've turned down / rejected?
In
Coco.
my life,
Just in your life.
probably like 300
300 you've turned down.
at least.
Okay.
I mean, starting from when I was 5 years old. Like, honestly.
All right. Okay.
More than that.
Samantha?
I don't know. I honestly can't even. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think I have a number. I think ghosting versus turning down, like if it's on a dating app, I would stick to ghosting. Turning down people in person, I don't have a number. That's my final answer.
Sure.
I don't have a number, but I know it's like tremendously bigger than the ones I've gone on dates with.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger than the ones
Yeah,
you've gone on dates with.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Because my sense is that most women have plenty of experience rejecting men, but most men, they don't really reject women for the most part. Thoughts?
Most men? We said most men.
Most men have no or little experience like rejecting women. I guess I could frame this in a different way. I mean, when you think of rejection, it's also not just someone messaging you on a dating app, but it's also maybe you went on a date, you went on a couple dates, maybe even you've had a longer term thing.
Right.
So let me frame it like this. Of the times where maybe you went on a date with a guy, couple dates, of the times where one of the people, either you or him, had to say, hey, it was nice meeting you, but I don't want to see you anymore. And that can range all the way from a first date to a long-term relationship where you're ending the relationship. More often than not, are you ending things or is the guy ending things? Let's start with you, Diana.
Deanna.
Deanna.
Yes.
My apologies.
No, you're good.
English is my second language.
Honestly, in that situation, as much as I'd hate to admit it, most of it is like ghosted.
Ghosting. You ghosting or the guy ghosting?
I think the guy could like start kind of like slipping away or like less interested, but I'm always the one to like really cut the end.
You
Like,
cut
no
it off.
communication.
You cut it off.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
I feel like I have been ghosted more than I've ever ghosted other people. I mean, I think I see too much good in people, or like give people too much of the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I think I've been like not turned down and not even like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore, just like straight up ghosted before. Or like it's happened where it's like, hey, like I liked hanging out with you, but like now I'm in a committed relationship with someone else. So that's it's whatever. But I think that's, yeah, I get the shit like most of the time.
Samantha.
I think I've probably experienced both sides. I've definitely been ghosted, and I've also just clearly been like, hey, I'm just not into this. Probably about the same amount for me, I would say.
I mean, are we counting those random Instagram guy DMs that hit you up and like, hey, mommy, let me take you out to dinner? Because I just ghost those.
Yeah.
There's probably like 1,000 of those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But growing up, I think that I was really into hookup culture for a while, and I didn't know what a relationship was like because that wasn't modeled for me in my life. And I definitely would try to take things to the next step with someone without even knowing what I wanted for myself. So I think that pushed a lot of guys away as I was growing up. So I feel like a lot of guys ghosted me more than them because I wanted something more, and clearly the vibe that I gave off was just that I wanted to hook up to them, but that's not what I really wanted.
Got it. And so you said growing up, though, you participated
Yeah.
in the hookup culture.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Okay, so basically what I mean by that is where I was from, I feel like it was just a very common thing. I grew up in the Bay Area, and I feel like it was just a very common thing for no one to be in a relationship. And for hookup culture, if I'm being point blank serious, it's, hey, hits you up after 1 a.m, you want to sneak out, you want to hang out in our car, you want to come over to my house, not let anyone know what we're doing, never speak about it, we don't even acknowledge each other outside of this world. I feel like that's exactly what it was. And that's what hookup culture was. So.
Got it. Okay. Good times.
Yeah, fun.
Good
Wow,
times.
we're getting deep.
And now you have a boyfriend that you've been seeing for
8 months.
8 months now.
But yeah,
Okay.
we met in junior year of high school, so we've
Got
been
it.
friends for a long time. And I wouldn't do it any other way, honestly, with anybody else, because now I have a new set of standards again. So.
a new set of standards.
Yeah, like having a real relationship with someone that's not intimate before. Like having a real friendship with someone is very important before starting a relationship, I feel like, because after that relationship ends, what are you guys? And where do you go from there? Or if it doesn't end, you know, I'd rather that person be my best friend in the first place.
Got it. And So you guys were friends beforehand, though.
Yeah.
So y'all were friends, but who made the first overture?
I did a long time ago, but like.
And
this
you
was
got
during
friend zoned then.
Yes.
He friend zoned you.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. In 2020, during quarantine, I literally point blank asked this man out, but his answer was so genuine. It was basically just like, hey, I'm living under my parents' roof right now. I can't provide you with the stability that I know you need. I'm not my own person yet. Let's see where life takes us in a year or so, and we'll take it up from there. And I got real mad and I ghosted him for a while.
We love that though.
Wow.
So you were upset that you got friend zoned.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, this friendship's over.
Yeah.
We're done.
It's like I'm never talking to this guy ever again.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
Then, yeah, things changed. We came down here, and I got really sick when I was down here for the first, like, month or so I was down here. Nobody knew I was here because I was just in my bed. I was so sick. He hits me up out of nowhere, and he goes, hey, are you in Santa Barbara? And I was like, yeah, but I'm really sick. Like, none of my friends want to see me. Like, you can't come over. He came over for a week straight and took care of me. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
No, that's really sweet.
Yeah, even after, I still had him blocked on Instagram. And
Oh.
he still
Oh shit.
yeah. He realized, and he was like,
Damn.
why can't I find your Instagram? And I was like, oh, I might have blocked you a couple months ago. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
definitely putting the work.
That's a great
That's
story.
right.
So we're going back to the sex question. Is it easier for men or women to get sex? And I think almost everyone here said, it's easier for women, besides you.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like the effort aspect of like how much the one or the other wants it. I think men want it more. More
Okay.
desperate.
Got it. So my goal is to convince you.
Okay.
But I might not change your mind. So what is the longest you've ever made a guy wait for sex?
Probably like 2 months.
2 months. Okay, but did he wanted it, but you
No.
you wanted to wait? Or
He
you
never
both?
brought it up. I actually asked him
Oh.
like, would you the next time we go out, would you want to?
You propositioned him, and you were dating for 2 months.
We were seeing each other for 2 months. Nothing was like official, set in stone. Nothing like that.
Was it like started off as a friendship, or was it pretty clear from the beginning, like you guys were
We
romantically?
were going on dates, but I wouldn't say we were dating or we weren't
Right.
in anything
Yeah.
official at the time.
Of course, yeah, it was early on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so longest time is 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, has a guy, but it sounded like he just didn't make a move. So it wasn't so much you were making him wait. If he had made a move sooner, would you have?
Probably. It was also just like the circumstances of like where we were gonna go, like was a little bit difficult to.
The backseat of his Mazda? No
Um,
good?
No, but I felt very respected that, I was able to ask first, because a lot of times I feel a little too pressured or like, to say yes, even like I was thinking about it, but sometimes men are way too forward with it.
Okay, men are too forward. Got it. And more often than not, if a guy's making a move, he's like, hey, I want to hook up. I mean, he's not saying that, but like that's sort of the gist of what he's going for, be it on the first, second, or third date. Are you more so the one who's like, let's maybe wait a bit, or where do you fall there?
I think looking at my past dating life, I would have said yes. I think now if I were ever to enter the dating pool again, it would be a lot different.
Okay.
I would probably wait at least like they say like 3 dates or some dumb
That's a
shit
good
like
number.
that. But
That's a good number.
It would definitely be more of like up to me, like actually sitting down and thinking about it than just being like, okay, yeah. I think I've passed that phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Big D. Can I call you Big D?
Of course.
Okay.
People call me that.
They call you Big D.
Sometimes.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Oh, what is, and this might be a tough question.
Oh, I
What is the
remember.
longest a man or no?
Longest time you've
What is the longest you've made a man wait for sex? And I suppose maybe we should exclude like the first time, you know? I mean,
The first time.
I mean, maybe the first time was first, like.
Well, then I can't tell my story.
Well, how about we'll do both.
Okay.
So first time, like the very first time, how long did you make the guy wait? Or how long did y'all wait together, I should say? And just afterwards, what's the longest you've made a guy wait for sex?
Honestly, to be completely honest with you,
Totally honest.
that hasn't been all that successful yet. So like when I first started, like in the beginning, like when I was first like having sex, like I didn't really care, you know? And I was like having one night stands and things like that. And then about like a year ago till like now, I've definitely been like holding back. Like I would rather be taken out on dates and like see if this guy is actually interested in me to like give him the pleasure of having sex with me, you know? And so
He gets the pleasure of having sex with you. But what about you getting
Me?
the
Okay,
pleasure of
'cause
having sex with him?
I have not had sex with a guy and finished. So for me, there is not much winning for me, you know?
Question.
Yeah.
Can you bring yourself to completion?
Yes.
Okay. Is it
So like I know I can.
so you can't? It's not that you're just
Yeah.
the guys are just they're fucking up.
Yeah.
They're messing up. If any of the guys are watching, y'all fucked up.
Can I flip them off?
What's that?
Can I flip them off?
Flick. Oh yeah, yeah. And okay, so
So since like a year or so now, I'd rather be like taken on dates and like get to know the person and see if they're like, as narcissistic as this sounds, deserving of it.
okay. If
So-
they can't make you come, they might as well get you dinner. Basically.
Exactly. Like I might as well get something out of it.
You might as well. You might as
Yeah.
well. Wait,
So-
so never with a guy, you've never climaxed.
No. Well, okay, like maybe climax, but not like the finishing. You know, it's like you might get there, but it's not like.
Fulfilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's not finished.
Got
That's
it.
the word.
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, I suppose you could still have good sex even if you don't come,
Yeah,
right?
like it could
But-
still feel good, but
But you just aren't. But you
like
do
I
still.
know how I do it, so it's like I'm not getting the
You know what do you mean? You know how you
like
do it.
like
what
I
does
said,
that mean?
I like finish.
Oh,
you
okay,
know?
okay, yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
I know like it just I feel that I don't feel as good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Got it. Huh.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
And it's like that's like kind of like a hit or miss, you know? Like you don't know if you're gonna meet a guy and he's gonna like make you come, you know?
Have you tried showing them, like, or do you want that to just? You want the guy to just get it. You don't want to have to
No,
like
that's
teach
not
them.
it. Cause like they don't have to like obviously they won't know like your body the way you do.
Right.
But it's like first like the step of like meeting them and like being taken on dates and getting to know them and see if this is someone you do want to have a sexual relationship with. And like a lot of times how she said guys put that pressure on you, sometimes some men, and most of the times like the first or second date like they'll make a move, you know, and I'll probably be like no, like I would rather take things slowly and things like that. And I feel like just the response from that has never been like all that great. So for me, I'm like still on that journey to find the guy that is willing to wait.
Okay, interesting. So, but the guy's never made you come. Is it cool if we go into that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
So
I also
even like go ahead.
if you want to go into like the body count and stuff and like
We could talk about that.
I don't like my body count isn't high. So
Well,
like it's like the amount of people I've had sex with isn't a lot, but it's like also like none of them have, you know?
Okay, so it's your body count is low, but didn't earlier you were saying how you were hooking up with a bunch of dudes, or
I was saying that I didn't care to make them wait in the beginning.
in the beginning? Can I ask what's your body count?
I would not like
That's
to
fine.
share.
That's totally fine. Wait, so has like the guy they go
Well-
down on you and you just that doesn't work, fingers doesn't work.
Like that's
Intercourse
what I'm
doesn't
saying. Like
work.
it feels good, but like doesn't mean you finish, you know?
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
and I think it's become more of a thing. Like when I first started hooking up, I just wanted to experiment, and then I realized like I'm not that hooking up type of person, and like it's the hookup culture that kind of made me think like that's the way to get into a romantic relationship nowadays, and I don't think I really vibe with that for myself. I don't care
Yeah.
for anyone else. If you like it, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly the case that, I mean, if the experiences you have had, it wasn't anything super serious, that I think that can play a factor too. I mean, if
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a girl a bit longer to get comfortable with a guy, and then it can make it a bit easier to climax. So, Samantha, I think you wanted to come in on something there, it seemed like.
Did I? I
Maybe.
mean, I have a lot to say about this, but I don't know.
Okay.
If
Well,
it's
so, but it sounds like for you have so far not been impressed by the performance
I'm not impressed by your performance.
of the guys that you've been with. Okay. Samantha.
I don't know if this is the channel to share what I know.
I mean,
Is it?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, so I went to Greece over the summer and I did a tantra workshop. So it was 11 days of like, basically it's like full body sexual massage. So I had 11 different gentlemen like massage my full body. And,
Was
and you have,
Strictly a massage or?
no, it's like a full like sexual massage.
Huh?
What does that mean?
That means like you're having a full day orgasm because you're
Wait, it was wait, hands only, or was it?
no
it was,
hands only.
It was.
Yeah.
They ran a train.
So no
No.
happy endings.
There was no P in the
no
V.
train,
No
no
P.
P in the V,
No P in the V. Okay.
no hard-ons. Like, but it's like a full body massage, and you're opening up what they call like your marma points. And anyways, so after those 11 days, then it's kind of like it was like best sex ever worlds, and it was just like I think I didn't realize it was just that I had body tensions that I wasn't aware of.
So what you're telling
Interesting.
Big D is she needs to go to Greece
I've been actually.
and be massaged by 11 men. Is what you're telling.
Well, there were
that's
20
that's your fix.
That's the magic number.
That is your fix. Can it be 12 men?
Well, there were 22 people in the workshop, and then you exchange with a different and I was with my boyfriend at the time.
Oh wow.
But you have a lot of like, yeah, we were like, we want to be open, you know, but we broke up shortly after. She'll be on one of the future shows, but his new fiance. But but anyways, so I think sometimes you just like you don't know what types of like tensions that you're holding in your like even like your physical muscular body or your emotional body, because during the process a lot of women had like these huge emotional like releases. And but then like my ex-boyfriend at the time, he had like a full day orgasm. He's like, oh my god, I can't even make this stop, like what do I do? And I was like, anyways, so you're kind of like bliss, and you're eating like healthy food the whole time. You can't have alcohol, you can't smoke, like you can't be on anything. You're just like on a body high.
Wow.
Cool. So Coco, tell us. I don't even know where we are. Where
The longest time you've made a guy?
yeah, longest time. Yeah, you had a little piece you wanted to say about that.
Yeah, I made my first boyfriend wait 3 years.
Wow.
And that was the first guy that you
Yeah.
hooked up with. Okay.
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years, and then he broke up with me a week after. So
3 years. Wait, hold on.
3
Whoa,
years.
hold on. You made him wait 3 years,
Mhm.
and then he broke up with you
The week after we did.
the week after. Are you capping?
No, I'm not.
You're
He's a shitty fucking human.
yo. Hold on. So and you only had sex once or a couple times,
Nope,
and then
just once.
just one time,
Just
and he
once.
broke up with
Just
you.
one time.
Hold on. So hold on. You're being honest,
I'm
right?
being honest.
You're telling the truth.
I am telling the truth.
Are you-
I am telling the truth. Put me
You
under.
you
the
dated a guy
judge.
for 3 years. You lost your virginity to him. You were in a relationship. Everything was good up until the sex. You had sex. Was he a virgin too? And a week later, you had sex only one time, and he dumps you. How did he dump you?
How did he dump me? I think it was over text. And then I went to talk to him in person because, that's not acceptable. That's just not mature. To text someone and break up with them. I don't
After
think
3
that's
years,
acceptable.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit.
So I went and talked to him, and he did not change his mind. We did not get back together. I don't think we did. It was a long time ago, but I really don't think we ever got back together.
Is this real?
This is real.
And I believe that shit too.
Are you
I'm not.
are you sure?
Yes. Yes. This is my real shitty life.
Fun.
Okay. So, and did he give you an explanation for that?
Not really, honestly. He blamed it on his friend because we were pretty young, and there was this movie night thing that happened at our school, and I fell asleep, and one of his friends put his arm around me. And that was the reason.
Oh, that was
That was the reason he gave me.
one of his friends.
Yeah, one of his friends that he's still friends with today.
That seems pretty platonic, just an arm.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
and even if it,
And somebody told him about it, and he got pissed off.
And this was in high school?
yo,
Of course, this was in
It makes sense. It makes a little sense.
God, damn, that's brutal.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. Like, as much as I don't, as much as a shitty situation that is the truth.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is.
And that's where the hookup culture stemmed from.
You
Because
went on
of
a
him.
tear.
Oh, yeah, we went on a rampage.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I don't even think he understands, what it did to me. You know what I mean? Still to this day. Yeah.
Have you seen a therapist?
A couple, but I ghost them because
You
I'm not.
you ghost.
I ghost my
You're
therapist.
perpetrating. That's wow. God
I
damn.
could.
That's pretty brutal.
It
That's
was.
pretty brutal. Maybe that's a warning though for to not make a guy wait almost, because it's like if you're gonna do that, you might as well, instead of getting all emotionally invested in it. That's just fucked up. I mean, that's
Yes.
that's pretty fucked up. Did you bite him or something during the?
Did I bite him?
Did you bite him?
No.
You took a bite out of him.
No, I did not bite him. I did not take a bite.
There was
out
no
of him.
biting.
There was no biting. There was no nothing. It was as cliche as the first time gets. He asked how to put a condom on. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just as cliche as it gets.
Wow, that is brutal. That's intense. Chris, let's do some super chats. We only got 2, I think. We got cheers.
Yes, lighten up the mood. We have 2 super chats here. We have a good
Yeah.
old cheers from Twitch. And
DTSP, thank you for the cheers. And then let's can you pull up the Twitch
short.
window? Okay. So we got, he followed. Thank you for the cheers. Appreciate it. Kalis Yuga, thank you for the follow. By the way, guys, we are streaming the show live on Twitch. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can head on over to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop an Amazon Prime. Supports the show. Anyways, we can go back. Let's. We got the $5 super chat.
Yes, Mr. Jose ND.
Jose ND, $5. Second language. All these years, I thought it was your first. My favorite vid is the asking girls on Valentine's Day video, or I think it was asking girls for Valentine's Day, something like that. Yeah. So French is my second language, but I moved to the U.S. when I was 5, so it's kind of a meme that English is my second language, but French was my first. Thank you, Jose, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. By the way, guys, if you want to ask a question to the panel, send a super chat. Next question. So, let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm pulling it up. Let's see. So, the original question was the longest time you've made a guy wait. Did everybody answer that?
Yeah.
I think.
Mm,
Okay.
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay.
All right. Let's hear.
I think in my younger years, maybe I didn't. And then in college, I think like a year. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really remember. So, sorry, I didn't really have to answer, I guess.
Okay. Got it. So, who is more likely to lie about how long they've gone without sex, men or women?
Guy.
I think it's the men as well.
Big D, let's start with you.
I think guys, because I feel that guys kind of feel shameful in a way if they like say out loud that they haven't had sex in a while, because it might come off as like they can't get girls or something. Whereas I have said many times to people like how long I've gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think guys too. Just more as like I don't know. I think like girls just have an easier time being like, yeah, it's been this long, and what? Like it's not really a big deal. Yeah, I think. Wait, what was the? Guys have lie more. Yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah, I definitely feel probably guys. Yeah.
And you already answered. You already answered. So, tying this sort of back into who has it harder when it comes to dating, men or women. Overall, who would you say has the burden of initiative when it comes to dating?
Can I?
So who typically has to initiate? That could be asking for a phone number. It could be approaching you. It could be sending a DM. It could be sending a message on a dating app. Who has the burden of the initiative?
Personally, I wouldn't accept it if I had to ask a guy. So I would wait for a guy to ask me. I feel like chivalry is dead, but I would wait for a guy to ask me.
So if the guy's not willing to make a move,
He's not.
like, well, let's say if, I guess, agree or disagree, if the guy isn't willing to have the courage to come and talk to you, that's not a guy that you would want to date.
Correct.
Okay.
Agree.
Let's go around rapid fire on the table for that one. If a guy doesn't have the courage to initiate and approach you, wherever that may be, it could be online, it could be in person, that type of guy is not the type of guy that you're interested in.
I feel like I generally initiate.
Okay, so not a good question to ask you, Brooke.
Well, like Bumble makes like the girl message the guy first, which I hate in some instances and like in some instances. Like it just depends like what you feel like you have to say to someone, like what topics or like whatever you want to bring up. Like if you feel like you have something like genuinely in common with them, it's like easy to talk to them first. Like it doesn't really matter. It's not like about like, oh, like I'm the girl and I'm going to talk to the guy first. That's so wrong. Like it doesn't matter. But I think if it's less serious dating, I would want the guy to ask me first. I wouldn't really.
Okay.
Wait, question. If it was more serious, are you saying that you would want to ask him first?
Well, if it was more serious, like, it wouldn't really matter.
Oh.
Like, if I was gonna ask them first, like, if it was something where, like, I feel like I'm interested in this person, I would be willing to ask them. Like, it wouldn't really bother me. I think I can go after, like, things that I want, like, and it not like hurt my confidence or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I know I want it, then I'll go for it.
It is interesting that you bring up the Bumble example, because Bumble is an app, if you guys don't know, where it's a dating app sort of similar to Tinder or Hinge, but the difference is that when you match, you know, you swipe left or right on people like how all the other apps are, but when you match, the woman has to send the first message. Now, as someone who's been on Bumble, I can say overwhelmingly, my experience, and I think I've spoken to a few other guys, and this is the experience of a lot of guys on there. There are certainly some women that will, when they first message you, they will come up with something clever or something. But overwhelmingly, y'all just say, hey, hi. The same shit that if a guy said to you on Tinder, you wouldn't even answer. So I'm going to say that. So there's that. And I mean, look, maybe depends on the guy. If the guy's super attractive and he just says, hey, maybe you'll go for it, whatever. But I have heard a common complaint, like, for women who are on Tinder, they're like, if you just say hi or hey, how you doing, that shit's kind of boring. Like, it doesn't give you much to work with. So my experience on Bumble is like 90% of the girls, when they do message, it's hi, hey, how's it going? Very basic shit. I'd say some, like, they'll go through the profile and, like, actually do a little something creative. And I appreciate that, because I'm like, okay, you look through it, you're putting in effort. And I like that. That's cool. But even then, I would say that as soon as they send the first message, a lot of time, and this is my experience, you're going to have to take over as the guy from there. Even if they send the first message, you're going to have to probably say, hey, let's meet up. Let's meet here. Let's meet at this time. And you got to, you know, ask for the number. And then, you know, so I think Bumble is a ooh, voice crack. Nice. So yeah, I'm still going through puberty. I think Bumble is a step in the right direction, but yeah, I think it's like the initiative that women have to show on Bumble. It's very token.
Well, I think when you think about if you're, like, meeting someone in person, you're usually at, like, a common place of interest, or you're like both at a place where, like, you're both doing something that like, that's what I just said. But I think that's kind of what people are looking for on dating apps, is, like, find a common interest and then talk about it. But I do know what you're saying about the, like, hey, because I would do that too, because I want them to seem like they're interested by starting a conversation, if that makes sense. I don't know how.
So you were a hater on Bumble. You would just say hey. Nothing.
Not
hey,
all the
it
time.
It is what it is.
Not
it
all
is
the
what
time.
it is.
It's just, it depends on the person. Like, everyone has their own little, like, peaks of interest, and it depends like what type of person they are.
Yeah, and there's certainly, like, I'm sure, by the way, just show of hands, who here at the table has been on a dating app at some point? Yeah. So, I mean, there's just some profiles where it's like, the fuck am I supposed to say to this person? Like, they don't, it's like on Bumble, there's prompts and stuff, but like sometimes there's nothing in the bio, there's nothing in the prompts. Their photos are kind of fucking dull, very basic. So it's just like, you can't really come up with something super clever, you know? You can maybe do like something kind of token just to make it at least somewhat interesting, but
yeah. I wouldn't even match with them.
You wouldn't even match if their shit was boring?
They're boring
okay.
And they don't have any information. It's like, what? I'm not going to try to like fish for information from you. Like, give it to me straight up, or
okay.
That's it.
Okay, got it. So, and Big D, did you answer?
About the initiative?
Do you prefer little D or big D?
It's actually funny.
Medium-sized D?
People called me Big D before because it's like ironic, you know?
Right.
Because I'm such a little. But I think it's funny.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
If that annoys you, by the way, I can change back to your name.
No, you're good.
Okay.
About initiative, yeah. I definitely take that because when I match with someone, I never message first. Like, if I'm going on a date with you, it's for sure because you asked me.
Okay. So, and when you say message you, do you mean like, is that through Instagram, a dating app?
Like, I'm talking as in dating.
Are you currently on the dating app right now?
Yes.
Which ones? Farmers Only? I think I saw you on Farmers Only. And
How'd
Christian
you know?
Mingle. But nah. But which ones?
Right now, the one I use like most is Hinge, I would say.
Dude, Hinge is like pretty good.
Hinge is very
Yeah, I mean,
in-depth.
it's the app made for
Tinder
to get off,
sucks.
to be deleted. So.
I think they changed that though.
Oh really?
Well, I think because now on Hinge there's a field that says dating
Oh,
goals,
like
what you're looking for. Whereas before it did seem like, at least in their marketing, it was like, hey, this is for more people who are more serious. But in the field, you can put like short-term dating, which, I mean, to me, that doesn't really equate with.
Mine has short-term, open to long.
Short-term, open to long. Okay, got it. You know what? Oh, you know what'd be interesting would be if we did a dating profile review.
Please no.
Well, we're gonna have to maybe do that for a new show when we can like connect
Yeah.
the phones to the computer or something. But
Oh God.
wait, what are your other things?
Do you want me to pull it up or something? I
No,
don't
it's
know.
okay. It's okay. So you were saying how on the dating apps you never message first,
No.
and on Hinge you can receive likes and send likes out. Do you ever send likes out, or
Yeah.
you send likes out?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you mostly picking like you probably get a lot of matches, like guys who are liking you on Hinge?
Mm-hmm.
And are you more so getting matches from the pool of men who like you, or?
I actually don't know the stats on that one. Don't really know.
Okay.
What that is.
But-
I like to look through both, you know.
Yeah. But so you were saying that on the dating apps, you want the guy to message you first.
Yeah, like
You
I
never
do.
message first.
No.
Not even
'Cause it's
once.
I have before, and it's not that I'm like scared to message first. It's more like I think it's the whole Leo and Venus.
You want
Yeah, I want someone who like
the guy to take
message
initiative.
me, like who likes me enough or like sees me and makes the effort to message.
Okay.
I
But
think
let me
that
ask you a
is, I
question.
guess.
What if all men felt the exact same way as that?
Oh.
Well,
I think society, I think they're just never, this is the last generation. No one else would do, but no, that's interesting. So, but I think that's fairly common. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with someone wanting to have the other person initiate. And I think that's kind of falls into more traditional gender roles. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So.
Yeah, it's not that like I'm not open to reaching out first, but I guess I want to be reached out first. Yeah.
That's what
but
you
I
want.
could.
You could.
Yeah, like it's
Okay.
not like I'm like embarrassed or like, oh, I can't.
Do you feel that you would lose some leverage if you messaged first? You'd think,
no.
okay, this girl's really, you'd think the guy thinks, hey, this girl's super into me, she's messaging me first, and then he might make less effort.
No, I think a lot of guys find it really new and fresh that like girls reach out first and like very bold, and I like respect that. I just don't think I want to chase a guy. Like that's the whole point of why I don't want to do that.
Got it. Okay. So overwhelmingly, it seemed like the panel said they prefer the guy to initiate, but you said that you initiate more often than does men.
Well, I mean, not on apps. I guess I just mean like if I'm like at a party and I meet someone, then I'll most likely just kind of like go talk to them and maybe do more body language of like, hey, I'm into you. And then like I wouldn't be the one to like ask them on a date though. But I would be like just showing signals, like, hey.
that makes sense.
Got it. Okay. So as far as first messages, like as far as communication, sending a message, approaching, it sounds like most of you want the guy to take the initiative there. What about for the first kiss? Same thing. Let me frame it a different way. Starting with Big D. Have you ever been the one to go in for the kiss first?
Not a time that I recall, honestly.
She does not recall. Okay. Brooke.
Yes, of course. I've asked. Oh, literally, my boyfriend, our first date, I was dropping him off, and I was like, he was like getting out of the car, and I was like, aren't you going to kiss me? And then, yeah. So
Nice.
I'm pretty like,
Nice.
just like, if that's what I want, then I'm not, well, obviously I'm not going to like force anything, but I'm going to ask. Like, yeah, I don't have a problem. Like, I like kissing people. It's
Nice.
It's a nice, like, sort of sign that like things went well, I think, especially at the end of like a first date. Yeah, I don't
And
care.
so with your last boyfriend on the first date, you initiated
My
the
current
first
boyfriend.
kiss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for previous relationships, would you say you more so the guy made the move, or kind of split, or?
I think it was, when I think back, it's more of like we were, like, me and other people were kind of like giving each other like signals, like, yeah, we're both into each other, like we'd like to like be a little more physical than like what we've been like just hanging out. And so it's hard to say, but I think I tend to like initiate it. I like straight up ask though. I'm like, do you want to kiss me? Like I don't really beat around the bush like if I want to. So but I
Nice.
think I ask more. Yeah.
Hey, props. I mean, that's cool. I think I think there's certainly some guys that they want things to adhere to traditional gender roles, but I think a lot of guys, like, would really actually appreciate it. Like if a girl sent the first message, approached them, made the first move, whatever it may be. I think a lot of guys, because I think a lot of guys really don't feel desired. They don't really feel wanted. And anyways, Samantha.
What was the question?
Yeah, what was the question? Have you ever gone in
Oh,
first kiss?
first kiss. I honestly don't know, but I think in my younger years in like college, I'd always be like kind of like wasted, like, you know, and then and that's when things would initiate. So I honestly don't.
You don't remember because you were just so
I was
tanked.
so tanked. Yeah.
You don't even remember.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. No, we don't need to go there.
Okay, we don't need to go there.
That is true. I didn't think about that.
Coco.
I definitely have.
Okay,
Kissed someone
props.
before they kissed me. Yeah. I've also done the whole tanked kissing shit. So, yeah, let's not remember that if we can.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's just a big deal at all. I do not care if a guy kisses me before I kiss him. Like, I feel like kisses are so overrated, and it's supposed to be this whole romantic, like, lean in, and oh, you're supposed to feel butterflies. It's just exchanging of saliva that you're gonna keep in your freaking mouth for 6 months. Like, come on.
6 months.
Yeah, it stays in your body.
The saliva?
Yes.
What?
Yes, dude. Or DNA. That's what it is. It's DNA.
Are you thinking of sperm?
No.
I've heard studies that y'all keep that shit around. Like the DNA, not like the DNA, I don't know, imprinting, I don't know what it is.
Wow.
So, okay. So you'll go for it.
Yeah,
is
of
what you're
course.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay. But when will you go for it?
When I'm drunk.
When you're drunk. Okay.
Sometimes when I'm sober, I don't really remember, like, most of the times that I've, like, gone in to go first for a kiss, because I feel like it's a platonic thing. If someone wants to, like, kiss you, it's like, okay, I feel like I'm never, like, if I'm going for something and they don't want to kiss me back, I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely, like, a connection that should be developed already. And there's, like, a level of, like, emotional intelligence that's like, okay, this person definitely wants to. We've been hanging out for a while or whatever. I just feel like it's a weird thing if you go in for a kiss and another person, like, wouldn't kiss you back. Like, why are you going in for that kiss? I feel like there's already, like, you realize that they're going to kiss you back. That's why you do it. That's why you would go in for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Very interesting.
So don't do it unless you're certain.
Or do it if you're drunk and you don't care.
Okay. So that's for the kiss. What about for sex?
If I put my vagina in him first,
What kind of vagina do you got?
a big
I don't even. But so okay. No, I mean as far as because I mean there are steps along the way. So I mean, if you kind of want to break it down and get analytical, so you know, if you go for the kiss and then you got to take the top off and then you got to take the pants off. That comes, you know, usually. I mean, unless
Yeah.
and then, you know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know whether to say if a guy would go for it first or if I go for it first. Sort of a tough one, I'm not going to lie. Because I don't know how that would work. You know? Like, it's a mutual thing if you want to have sex with someone, I feel like.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to pursue a guy, I'd feel a little awkward if I'm the one reaching for it. You know what I mean? Like, I want a guy not necessarily to be experienced, it doesn't matter, but I'd rather him take the initiative so I know, like, that I'm being taken care of necessarily, because I don't want to feel like I'm the one who wants this, and then it makes me feel like, I don't know, like I'm the one reaching for the sex, and then it puts me in that uncomfortable position of like, sometimes it's like, does he just want me for sex, or why am I really here? You know what I mean? Just, I don't know, sort of weird.
Okay, got it.
If that makes any sense at all.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Chris, can we pull up this super chat really quick while I'm just fixing something on my computer?
Yes, we have a super chat from C Math that wants the love equation here. They want you guys to please.
So CMath, $5 super chat. Teach us the secret to seduction girls.
Seduction.
Secret to seduction girl. I think he meant seduce girls.
He's more
Thank
math
you.
than grammar.
Seduction
so.
girls.
Yeah.
Is it seduction, comma, girls or
Yeah. Seduction.
girls?
By the way, can you guys spell check this shit before you
Teach
send in
us
just,
the
you know,
For $5.
just for the grammar?
I think all the spelling's right. It just might be the grammar.
Yeah. Teach us. I feel like that's a very broad
I feel like it's
statement.
I feel like he meant seducing
Yeah,
girls.
teach us.
Well,
the
yeah, that's
secret
what.
to seduce.
Yeah, I
because
think.
he's a guy, not.
Yeah.
I read it as seduction, comma, girls.
That's how I read it. I read it.
Oh,
He's
Oh,
asking
teach us
us.
the secret.
He's
girls
missing-
seduction.
He's
Girl.
He wants
missing.
us to teach him. They want us to teach them.
He's missing a comma, I think.
Yeah.
Look up and down 5 times.
Yeah. Turn
Eat
your
a-
head.
Yeah, eat a banana in front of them, and that's all you gotta do.
So, kind of related to the kissing thing, do you would you want a guy, or would you find it off-putting if the guy verbalized it? If he was like, "Hey, do you want to kiss right now?" Or would you prefer it to feel a bit more organic and
If
be like,
I'm into him, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't care.
But if he asks me and I'm not into him, sorry.
"Well,
again.
of course."
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine if you weren't into him either way,
Right.
it would be
a
kind of
little
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have
I
a
don't
preference.
have a problem with that. I feel like that's very respectful. I even with my boyfriend now, like I feel like I asked him, like I set a lot of boundaries because we were friends first. So I was like, hey, like friends do this, that, but we like brought it to levels later after he had to ask me that question. So it's like I feel like that's sort of normal, and I would accept that.
Ask you what was the question he asked?
He asked me if he could kiss me,
Okay.
and I didn't take that in a weird way because I liked him,
This is the guy who was the friend.
my
and then-
boyfriend now.
But he was your
But
friend
yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah,
He
for a
friend
long
zoned
time.
you, and then he came around.
Yes, and I
Did you
came
have a
back
glow
around.
up? Like what?
No, I
Just-
didn't. I just think that we both.
He wasn't ready at the time.
Yeah,
it sounded
he
like.
was not ready
Yeah.
at the time, and
It sounded like he was living with his
def-
parents.
Yeah, and he definitely put in the time to like pursue me, and like I feel like he didn't go after anybody else but me, and he really
Mhm.
made that obvious. And I even, like, funny story, I even left him at my house while I went on another date with another dude once, while we were still friends, and I set boundaries on that. And, like, he literally waited for me at my house while I went on this date, and he hung out with my friend next door, waiting for me to get back home. And then I came home.
Got it. Samantha, would you find it off-putting if a guy asked to kiss you, or would you prefer the guy to just go in for it?
Actually, just in the last 6 months, sometime, I don't remember when, but that was the first time someone actually asked me, because usually I think they just go for it, but it was the first time someone asked me, and I was like actually really like turned on by it, because I think I felt like, whoa, because I think sometimes someone leans in and then you like don't want to be rude.
Yes.
So you're like, all right. So it was really nice to like have someone like kind of check in or whatever.
In other words, consent is sexy.
Yeah, it was really sexy. It was like really like, whoa, I don't know, it was interesting.
Consent is sexy. Brooke.
I completely agree. No matter what step you're taking, whether it's a kiss, whether it's sex, like, I just think, like, just make sure that the answer is yes. Like, it doesn't matter, like, God, it's just, like, yes means yes. Anything else probably means I'm not sure or no. So, yeah.
Big D.
I agree with Coco. Like, I obviously, like, if the guy is someone I like already, and if he asked me, it wouldn't like change my opinion of him. But I have experience where, like, sometimes, like, I feel like it can definitely be an ick.
If the guy asks.
Yeah.
That's
and, like,
okay, by the way.
And, like, if the vibes are right and, like, like, you and her are vibing, like, I feel like you could just lean in. And if she doesn't want to kiss you, she could, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think guys are a little bit in a tough spot with this one, because there's definitely
The consent
some girls will not mind if you ask, but I think a lot of women will say, like, I'd rather the guy just go for it. Like, they'll be turned off if the guy asks, and it's not a question of like forcing the girl to do it. She could very well want to kiss you, but if you ask, she'd prefer if you just went for it. That's not the case for all women, but I think guys are kind of in this spot. Well, and I don't know, I think if you had like a conversation about it beforehand, like 10 minutes before you anticipated kissing the girl, when I go to kiss you in 10 minutes, do you want me to just go for it, or do you want me to ask? And so, do you see where I'm getting at? That might be a bit awkward, so, but that is within sort of the realm of, asking beforehand. So, and I guess we could apply this also to, might be, should we wait for Coco? I don't know. We'll keep going. But so as it relates to, I'll come back to that. Oh, she's back. Okay. Can you come this way? Yeah. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. So the next question is, and we were sort of just talking about, I think, about the whole consent thing, and how, and I was just saying how on one hand, there's some women that would be turned off if you were to be like, hey, is it okay if I kiss you right now? Yeah. They might be like they'd rather it just be organic.
Right.
And that's, if a woman's okay with being kissed, she may prefer for you to just go for it instead of asking. So it might be a bit of a turnoff. So kind of along those same lines, how far do we take verbalizing things? And so I think in California, for the UC systems, all the colleges in California, this isn't the law in California, like broadly speaking, but the law for universities that receive public funding in California, they need to encourage what's called affirmative consent. And so that's like, it's not enough just, I don't know the exact language, but like you basically need what it sounds like affirmative consent at every step along the way. So, and I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, but I guess kind of to tie that into what we've been talking about, would you find it off-putting if every single time you hooked up, in each instance that physically it had to escalate, the guy was like, is it okay if I kiss you now? Is it okay if I put my hand on your chest? Is it okay if I put my hand down low? Would you find that off-putting? And we'll start, like, is it okay if I don't know how a guy would smoothly ask, is it okay if I'm trying to be fair with this thing, but like, is it okay if I fuck you now? I don't know. I'm not sure. But would you be okay with that, or would you find that off-putting?
Maybe not the way you said it right now. But like,
so there's a
maybe
way it
as
could be said.
he went, maybe he would just like, is this okay? Or something like that.
Okay.
It might be like more natural than like, is it okay if I grab your boob now or something, you know? But so you're saying he should say, is this okay? I'm saying that might be better.
But does he need to ask that before he does it? Because if he,
in my opinion, I feel like if I'm already like in your bed, like when we're like doing stuff, I am just not really the type of person to do like the smaller steps with someone if I'm not gonna do the full step. You know what I mean?
okay, so
if I'm gonna kiss someone, I would probably fuck them in the future, like would want to.
Okay.
But
sure. So it would be a green flag for the guy. Hey,
but about the sex, I think for sure like that is something you should ask. But if I'm like already that far with you, then like I'm down.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Let's assume in these scenarios it's like you want to have sex, right? You want to have sex with the guy, but he is. What?
What are you laughing at? I don't.
The comments are harsh.
I'm laughing at my friend Shy's comment. Hi, Shy.
Does God lean in to kiss first, or do
God
you?
is an atheist.
Does God lean? But
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hey, Shy.
God is an atheist. There you go. Atheists for Jesus. Okay. So I don't even know where I'm going with this question, really.
Yeah, that's hard.
I think that communication is sexy. It like if you're at a point where you're comfortable with someone that you guys have hooked up before.
Sorry. Someone said I needed Adderall.
Someone says you need Adderall.
I do.
Put the camera on her. Yeah, she
flipped the bottle again.
but sorry, go ahead, Brooke.
I think communication is hot.
Hide that bottle. Put that down.
I think if only one person though is kind of like doing the talking through everything, it's kind of weird. So I think there needs to be like a mutual level of communication, like expressing what you want, expressing like what you don't like. Like to me there's nothing like unsexy about being like, I don't like that, let's try something different. Like I just think communication is important in all aspects of life. So I don't have a problem with being asked anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's some benefits to asking, right? But I also feel like then you kind of get into your head and you're not really in your body. So that would be my only, because I feel like traditionally maybe we just like feel each other's bodies, but I do feel like sometimes people aren't reading the room, and so they like, am I missing something?
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so I think asking is probably great if like when it's more towards like the beginning of the relationship, and then as you get to know the person, then that would probably seem kind of extra.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the way that you worded the question, you said if every single guy asked you, I would feel like it's a little like ungenuine, you know what I mean? And I feel like that I would relate all those guys together, and then I would literally think about that another dude when that guy asked me that question, if every single guy is asking me that question. So I feel like that would just make it a little not different for me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like all these guys are sort of the same if they kept asking me that question.
What is
like,
the question? That
can I put my hand on your chest? Can I fuck you?
Yeah.
Like, before every single, like, the way that you said it was like a little severe. That's why I'm saying it like
Sure.
this. But you know, it's different because I'm just with one guy right now. But even if that guy asked me every single time before we had sex, I would just fucking break up with him, bro.
It wouldn't feel organic,
It
right?
wouldn't feel organic, and it
Yeah.
would feel like a cycle, and life's already a cycle. So it's like, I need something to spice it up a little bit. You know what
Spice.
I mean? And asking the same question every single time, it's just like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, in my opinion. But the first time, I feel like it's sort of important to ask that question. But moving forwards with that, it's already like, okay, we asked that question, we want to, unless you tell me otherwise and communicate with me that you don't want to do this with me anymore, it's sort of a given that we're going to. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Got it. Okay. Good answers. Good answers. So going back to is dating harder for men or women? We've had some disagreements.
Wait, say that again?
Is dating harder? Is dating harder for men or women?
Oh, so we're back
first
to
question.
it.
So-
We're back.
I got to make my case here. I guess I got to share my thoughts. So I would say that dating is harder for men, and I think there's a few reasons for that. One of them is the burden of initiative generally falls on the guy. Like, I guess we could almost paint a bit of a dream scenario here. It's not even a scenario; it's just a real situation. Have any of you here gone out to a bar or nightclub?
No.
Never?
Never
I've
gone to a.
No, I have.
I think
You
But
got me.
so has everyone here gone to like a bar or nightclub
Yes.
Yes.
or a party?
Yes.
Would you say more like, do you get approached by guys?
Yes.
Nah.
Samantha?
It
Do you,
Depends on the party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on if
I
I'm
think
with
that
my
makes
boyfriend.
sense.
That's
When you were single, if you were at a bar, club, or party,
yes.
do you get approached by men? More than once a night, a couple times a night?
Probably more than once, at least once a night.
Okay, at least once a night. Brooke?
I think I kind of radiate this energy that like I don't want to talk to people outside of like my friend group that I'm already there with, which is actually pretty true. Like, yeah, I I think I'm kind of off-putting. Like, I don't really want to talk to people.
Sure.
So
But
it's kind
guys
of
do approach you, but you don't necessarily enjoy it when they do.
sometimes, yeah. Like one time, this guy like was like, "You should smile."
No.
No.
Approaching.
Sorry, no. But yeah, I think, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't think like guys are attracted to me or like don't want to talk to me, but I think I just kind of give off this vibe that like I'm here with the people I'm here with right now, and I'm not really here to like meet guys that I don't know, you know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Big D?
Yeah, I would say like maybe at least once, depending on the night. Sometimes no, but it's
Some-
fine. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Sometimes no.
So I'll say this. As a guy, if you go to a club or a bar or a party, ain't nobody talking to you the entire night. So right off the bat there, I think kind of relating it back to who has the burden of initiative as a dude, like nobody's talking to you.
Have you ever had those really drunk girls just come up to you and like one night you look like Johnny Depp, right? But the morning after it's like
The girl looks like Johnny Depp.
no, like this girl
Oh,
comes up
she
to you,
thinks-
she's drunk,
she thinks I'm
you're
hot.
Johnny, she thinks that you're this god. Have you ever had this girl come up to you and she's just like plastered and she just thinks you're the hottest thing on earth?
Well, so I might be a bit of an outlier because I mean, when I was a bit younger, I'd go to bars and clubs a little bit, but honestly, even then, I didn't really like it. Like, I barely drink. I don't like bars. I don't like clubs. I think I honestly would rather masturbate with sandpaper than go to a bar or a nightclub. In fact, I think I have some sandpaper here. Hold on, let me pull it out.
How did this happen?
I can't. Why are we here?
So, I've got a couple different grits. I've got medium grit sandpaper. So yeah, I'm
Which
not
one feels the best or the worst?
fine grit's pretty good, I reckon. But yeah, I don't really like going to bars. I don't like going to clubs. Maybe it was 5-6 years ago I was at a bar or club. I don't really drink like that to begin with, so not like I'll meet someone at a more like a lounge. If I'm going on a date, I'll meet a girl at a quiet bar or something, but I'm not like going out to drink. I don't really move like that. So as far as your example goes with the chick that thinks I'm Johnny Depp,
It's a good one.
I don't think I've encountered that experience. So what are you trying to say? Like, what are you trying to say that the girl, she comes up to me?
Yeah,
And-
basically. Like, you know, sometimes there's that really wasted girl at a party and she talks to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, looking for her friends, lost her phone, she doesn't know what her name is, and she's
If
just
she's
talking
really
up
drunk?
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even. I'd probably.
You just stay
That's a
clear.
bit iffy for me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Well,
Catch
no,
a
you're not,
case.
no, nobody's trying to do anything with her. but like, I'm just saying, in an approach, like, have you been approached by a girl in that way?
I mean, I've had like women who are just fucking sloshed and they're fucking
Yeah.
going up to you, but
Right, that's sort of
they're
what I
just
mean.
like, to me, it's not clear that they're like trying to hit on me or anything.
Yeah, but it's just approaching you.
I've maybe twice.
That is them hitting
I
on
think
you.
I think twice I've
go.
had that, but I would say I don't think I've of the times like when I was younger I went out a little bit. I don't think I've ever either at a fucking Trader Joe's, at a Trader Joe's or a club or a bar or a party, like I've never been approached by a girl, never.
Not even when they like want you to buy them a drink or something.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't buy a girl a drink.
But have they come up to
Like
you?
come
I
up
wouldn't
to you,
do
be
it.
like start no.
Have they come up
Like,
to me?
you don't
Yeah.
need to do the act of it, but just like, do they approach you?
I have never been like approached by a girl where it's clear that she's like pursuing me in that way.
Yeah.
Not
Good.
once.
That's good. We don't need that in our lives.
I don't need
You
that.
you don't need that in your life. You need a good woman.
A good woman that I have to.
Yeah.
that I have to, no, and she could be sober, right? Like it's not not so much that I want her to be drunk or anything,
Right.
but yeah, I don't think I've never even had just in any scenario a girl approach me, and I think a lot of guys have. Guys in the chat, Stephen Krug. I recognize Stephen Krug. Hey man, thank you for the super chats last week. Much appreciated. Guys,
Yes.
men in the chat. One, if a girl has approached you, like hit on you. A one in the chat. Two, if a girl has never like come up to you at a bar, club, party, anywhere, with a specific intent, like they're kind of interested in you, they're hitting on you. One in the chat for yes. Two in the chat for a girl has never hit on you.
Two in a chat for you've never been hit on by a girl.
Two in the chat, you've never been hit on.
One, you've been approached.
Yeah.
You've been approached.
been
At
one
least
or
once, though. I mean, it could have only been once.
It could have
See?
only been once.
Oh.
Okay, so we got a few. We got a few.
One.
There's
Zero.
more
I'm
ones, yeah.
gay. I don't
You
even
can
know.
still
That's
be
a
approached
two.
by-
That's a two. Not a
Oh, by a girl.
Okay, cool. So, there's some differences there in the chat. It's possible that I've been approached, but I just don't remember it. But
Fair enough.
overwhelmingly, I mean, my experience is like, as a guy, like if you go out ain't nobody talking to you. Whereas if you go to a club and you're, some guy will come and talk to you. He might not be the guy you want, but, and similarly, so I guess to continue my point, as far as why I think that dating is harder as a guy, bro, it's tough. I mean, if even if you just want sex, like, it could take you, like an average guy, it could take you a couple weeks. It could take you 3 years. It could take you a couple weeks, a couple months. Whereas, like, if you were so inclined, not to say that you would necessarily want this, but if you were so inclined, all right, Chris, you can stop, fucker.
Will Smith is here.
Will Smith.
Will Smith is watching.
Oh, Will Smith is, yeah. Sorry about Jada, dude. She got a little, okay.
Anyway.
So I guess I'm going to ask a question for the panel here. If you were so inclined, do you think that you could go find a brand new guy that you've never talked to before tonight and sleep with him?
No, emotional. No, I just
But
can't.
not so much in terms of what you want, but if you were so inclined
If I was inclined, then
to sleep with a guy, would you be able to secure a guy tonight to sleep with? That you
probably.
Okay.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. On the club,
That shit.
going out on a Tuesday.
You could probably just walk out down here
Let's
and
try
just
it.
find
Let's
a guy.
follow
We
me with
should-
a camera
we
right
will
now.
do that.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
We'll do that. Here, we'll get the long view camera and we'll just see you in the street approaching men.
I'll just do a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, actually go out on the balcony and just shout at guys passing by, hey, do you want to fuck? Yeah, there's a loft up there, by the way. But Samantha.
I'd have to say no for me, probably. I don't think I have that level of game.
You don't think you could find a guy that's reasonably like decent looking, whatever, to sleep with you tonight? You can use dating apps. You can just fucking go out.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so.
You said it doesn't have to be a guy that you want, right? You said if you are inclined
If
to
you're so
have
inclined,
sex tonight.
have sex with a guy, and he can be like,
Yeah, like anyone. It's just a possibility of having sex tonight
I mean,
or
it
no.
doesn't have to be the first guy you talk to, but if you were, you could
just
you
wanna
could
have
find
sex.
you could find a reasonably attractive guy to do it. He might not be a match for you, but you could have sex.
Yeah, I would say I don't really have a game like that either. I wouldn't say I'm like a player or anything, but I just feel like I could.
You feel like you couldn't.
I could.
You could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just maybe because like desperation.
On the guy's part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys. Here's a good question that we can sort of riff off of that. So, what would you guys say? What percentage of men are like having sex?
Like
Let me
right
let
now?
me
From a
reframe it.
certain
Who's having more? Who's having more sex, men or women?
It's hard.
I think from like the people I know, it's the guys.
The guys are having more sex.
I don't know.
Let's start with Big D. Big D, what do you think?
I would say guys, just from
Guys are having more sex.
Yeah, because from what I'm hearing from a lot of like what I've heard from a lot of people, I've heard a guy having like losing count of how many people they have sex with versus like girls that like usually know how many people they have had sex with.
I know a few girls. Let me just say.
Those girls are my friends.
Those girls are your friends. Yeah. So I mean, definitely there's
Like it
some
could be
slutty
high,
dudes.
but like not enough to a guy where they have like genuinely lost track.
Well, I would say that the guys who can really rack up the numbers, those are going to be like probably like
In the
top
80s.
top percent of guys. I think Like, I don't think an average guy can put up like 50 bodies.
Yeah.
I don't think he
I
would be able to do
agree.
it. I think it'd be like top 10, 20%. Whereas like, I think an average woman, if she was so inclined, pretty much, honestly, most women, if they're so inclined, could put up 100 bodies in their freshman semester at UCSB. First semester at UCSB. So I forgot what the question was, but Samantha, go.
I don't remember what the
Yeah,
question
what? Who's having more sex, men or women?
I would have to say I feel like women.
Women are having more sex.
I feel like a lot of women in my friend circles are having a good time.
I agree with that fully. My friends have rosters, and they are some players, and these girls got game, bro. Every single night there is a different guy at their house, and go off. I don't know what else to say.
Agreed.
Wow. Okay. So can you talk a little bit about them? Like, have they told you their body counts? Maybe
I don't
you
even
have to
think they
expose
know their own body counts, or they haven't explained it to me. You know what I mean? I feel like there's just not like a, hey girlie, what's your body count? Like, you know.
Sure.
I feel like it's a very personal thing. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, just my friends specifically, like, they're attractive women and they get with a lot of men. At my age, most people are very sexually active. At all of our ages, most people are very sexually active. And I just think that the women that I hang out with keep it real and got 100 men on their line if they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're putting in work.
They're pushing P.
So, and did you ever, before your boyfriend, did you ever partake in a similar sort of lifestyle?
I mean, like, a little bit, a long time ago, I could say that I had maybe like a roster of a couple guys, but honestly, nowhere near what my friends can do. They're ruthless, bro.
Can you tell some examples
Of my
your
experience?
friends, like, so you're saying
friends.
they're
Oh yeah, no, she like literally I can't even keep up with the names of these guys that they're
So-
telling me, and they're like asking me about questions, and they're like, oh, you remember this guy? And I'm like, quite honestly, I don't even, but I'm just gonna play along. Like, yeah.
so wait, clarifying question, is she just having a bunch of one night stands, or does she have like 5 guys concurrently that she's sleeping with?
I think it's mostly just one night stands.
She doesn't have like a
no,
consistent, a
she
few
does
consistent
not
guys.
want a relationship. And
Okay,
that's,
so it's
like,
just
close
one
to
time.
it, you know what I mean? Like that's having a connection with someone, and she don't want that.
Okay. But so okay, and it sounds like it's your friend group. There's
Yeah.
more than one
Oh
of
yeah.
your
Oh
friends.
yeah. No, they live together. It's a fun
Oh,
house.
so they okay. Do you live with them? Or?
No,
But-
I was gonna.
Okay, they might be watching right now.
I
You're
hope
putting them
they
on
are.
blast.
I hope they are.
Okay, and so they're
It's like a
racking
little
up.
whorehouse.
It is a horror. Wow. Okay, good times. So then, so you think that
She has a boy over it.
they're probably having sex while watching the podcast?
They're
It's on in the
probably
it's on the
not watching
background. It's on in the background. So wow. So you think that women are having more sex than men
Yes.
are? Okay.
Yes, I stand
And
by it.
here's sort of a follow-up question to that. So, who do you think are women more likely to be Eskimo sisters with other women, or are men more likely to be Eskimo
Women are way more likely to be Eskimo sisters with other
than,
women.
than men are to be Eskimo
Yes.
brothers?
I just feel like there's just such a stigma around guys getting with other guys unless they're gay.
Oh wait.
Oh.
So, do you understand what I say though when I
said
mean Eskimo?
Oh.
So basically, okay, the Eskimo sister, Eskimo brother,
Oh.
you've had sex with the same person.
I think it's
So
more.
2 girls having sex with the same guy, for example.
Oh, that would
I-
not.
I think
fucking
it's
fly
more
with
likely
me.
for the guys to be Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't a threesome thing, by the way.
No,
I'm
no, I
saying
know.
individually. Okay.
No, yeah, no, like I think that a girl can run through a group of guys like that. Sorry, but y'all are easy. And I just think that it's more likely for this girl to get with all of his friends, because guys don't really communicate like that, and I feel like and girls do. A girl will like state her territory, or if she's gone with this guy, it's like hands off, and if you get with him, you're like, we need to have a talk about it or get the fuck out of my life.
You're on the shit list.
You're on the shit list, exactly. So
Even if it's just like a one night stand thing, you're still gonna be.
No, that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's awful. It's
I feel like I mean, it doesn't matter unless if it's a one-night stand and you had emotions attached to it, and it's like he broke it off. But if it's your doing of the one-night stand, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if he broke your heart because it was a one-night stand, then girl, stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
Got it. So, Chris, let's do some super chats here. But I want to come back to that, but we've got a couple super chats that came in.
Super chat section. We have Mr. Krug, who made a mistake and donated twice.
Or maybe that might have been
3 times actually.
That might have been intentional.
Yeah, they have a point.
Stephen Krug, show the first one, Chris.
I like the gray.
Okay, so Stephen Krug, this is I think what you intended as the super chat. Oh, he donated. Oh, it's the same message. Okay, show the bottom one.
Well, he donated $9.99 and he didn't tie it to a message.
Okay.
And then he donated again.
Yeah, pull that one up. The
one that's
Stephen Krug. Well, thank you for the $20. Much appreciated. Evolutionarily, women are more selective for mates because of inherent pregnancy risk / burden, higher time investment requirement than men. Thoughts? Okay, we can go around the panel on that one. Big D.
Yes.
Agree? Okay. More selective. That makes sense. Brooke?
Yeah. It's actually like so that like men find physical cheating more difficult to deal with, and women find, like, this is all evolutionary, women find emotional cheating more like difficult to deal with, because like a male can never be completely certain that someone he impregnates is like actually pregnant with their biological child, whereas a woman has to seek out like a good mate to like be the sperm for their child.
Facts.
So this is actually very true. Yeah, so you're right, Stephen Krug.
Samantha?
Yeah, definitely agree, Stephen. You're spot on.
And we have a unanimous yes.
What's that?
We have a unanimous yes.
We have a unanimous yes. Okay. And then we have one from Mr. Will Smith.
Will Smith, of course, always making
Will Smith.
He just sent money.
That is, thank you for the $1.99. Me and the blue hair girl had an entanglement.
It's all over her face, bro.
She's a bit shy, Kiki. But Will Smith, if you want, I can arrange for a meeting.
Come pick her up.
She's a bit shy, but yeah.
She
So
has hair.
very cool. So Chris, what I want you to do is pull up the first chart on the other computer. The chart, the infographic. Yes. Okay, so this is from the Washington Post. It's a general social survey they've been taking since 1989. Young men driving the decline in sex, share of men and women between ages 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the past year. And it looks, up until 2008, it was pretty even there between men and women. And let me tell you, in 2008, okay. But in 2018, so it's saying that, let's see. So 18% of women are reporting having had between the ages of 18 and 30 reporting no sex in the past year, and 28% of men reporting no sex in the past year, and that's from the Washington Post. So
I wonder if that's going to change since Roe versus Wade just got overturned.
Yeah.
So, well, I'd also be curious to see that the last data point is 2018. I actually suspect the difference has increased quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 35-40% of men have had, between those ages, are not sexually active at all. And it's possible that it's increased even a bit for women too. But so you think with Roe v. Wade being overturned
I
that
feel like a lot
there's
of
like a
women are
sex
just-
strike or what?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of women are just going to have no sex just to keep themselves from not having a risk of getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like not having safe healthcare or safe access to abortions, you know?
Yeah.
Well, so do you think that would be state dependent though? Because I mean, certainly in
Definitely.
California, you
Yeah.
can still get an abortion, whereas if you're in, I think Ohio, a lot
Yeah.
of more Republican states, you know, they had laws that I think it was as soon as Roe v. Wade
Yep.
got repealed, it was like a trigger law or something, and
Mhm.
then it would be just banned immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So you think because of that, women are gonna have less sex because Roe v. Wade was
Definitely,
overturned?
but in those states alone, not in California.
Even in California,
Even
maybe.
in California.
It's a strike,
Yeah,
a sex strike.
it is.
I think it is. Yeah. I told my boyfriend I
It
wouldn't have
should
sex
be.
with him.
You told well, hold on, wait. You told your boyfriend you're not having sex with him
Yeah.
because of Roe v. Wade?
Yeah.
How's that
Wait.
going?
How,
It didn't work, but
wait. Oh, okay. So it's not ongoing.
no, but I think
Was it out of the frustration?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I guess why punish your boyfriend for?
because he's a man.
Because he's a man
But
and he's
what has-
capable of getting me pregnant.
But what does him being a man? I mean, what? How did he
What
contribute?
about him not?
How did he contribute to Roe v. Wade? I mean, is he a liberal? Is it a liberal guy?
I don't think you understand.
But no,
But
explain it to me.
he
Explain.
is a man. That's
And?
literally my explanation for it.
Well,
Point
and
blank, he could get me pregnant, and
Okay.
that's not gonna fly with me.
he could get you pregnant. Okay, but I mean, but it sounds like it didn't. You've sort of fallen off on this no sex thing.
Yeah, by choice. We started using condoms again.
I see. But I mean, even though you're in California, you don't feel that. I mean, you can still get an abortion in California.
Yeah, but I've had an abortion and it sucks. So I would not want to do that again.
But I mean, I suppose in California, what were you not using condoms before the decision? I'm just trying to understand.
I'm on birth control.
And
So
so
that I
before
don't
you weren't,
have so that we don't have to use condoms, but now it's just like not worth the risk at all. It's not worth that 0.01%
and
risk.
Okay, and so the change of heart was because of Roe v. Wade being overturned.
Yeah, and it's not just for me, for my body. It's for everyone that's not able to get an abortion in this country. That it's like, what kind of person am I if I'm just gonna like still go crazy, even though there are other people? You know, it's
So you feel a sense of collective guilt. You feel like
responsibility and anger and just fucking. It's awful. Like yeah, it's awful.
Okay.
It's fucking horrible.
Okay, but so, and what did your boyfriend think when you were like, "Hey, Roe v. Wade got overturned"?
He said okay.
He said okay.
He said okay.
He was on board.
He was on board.
He was on board.
Yeah.
So you withheld sex. You were punishing him.
No, I'm not punishing him.
It's sort of a punishment.
There's
right?
no man that
Oh,
I am
punishment.
punishing. It's the fucking SCOTUS that overturned.
So you're punishing SCOTUS.
I'm not punished. Okay. It's like an act of protest. Okay.
It is an act of protest. I see.
That she's voluntarily doing herself.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
We sort of, in our defense, I think we all feel really helpless in this situation.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
anything that we can do is doing something.
Yeah.
Sure. Any thoughts? I
And
don't
just
even-
like having the possibility of putting yourself at that risk, like you don't want to.
Exactly.
But do you feel that way too with her? Do you agree with her? As far as like, would you do a sex strike? Are you scared?
I'm not
more scared
currently
to have
like
sex?
regularly having sex with anyone, but if I was, I would definitely think about how I can minimize and how I can be like protected
Okay.
to the maximum extent. Because like, yeah,
even though
you get
nothing's
pregnant
changed, even though nothing's changed in California,
I'm from Arizona, so when I
Okay.
go back,
when you go
that
back
shit
and,
might not fly.
and there might be a nice little cowboy, you know, in
Yeah, who
Arizona.
knows?
Okay, I see.
I'm
I
just
see.
saying, like in Arizona, that it might not be as
Is it
liberal.
repealed?
Uh-huh.
Is it What
yeah,
is
I
this
don't really know what
situation
the
in Arizona?
status is in Arizona, but I think it's definitely not very liberal there. So
Yeah, I think. I feel like, is it a
I think it's-
flips?
yeah, I think it
Kind
was
of?
red and then it
I don't
went
know.
blue.
Samantha, did you give your
Not
take
sure.
on this?
No comment.
No comment? No comment. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm still kind of curious about the sex strike thing. So do you think that like other women should have a sex strike and just not, because of Roe v. Wade being overturned, just, hey, sorry buddy, if they're in a relationship, just no more sex or additional precautions?
What was the question?
So you said that when Roe v. Wade got overturned, you're like, you told your boyfriend, hey, because of Roe v. Wade being overturned, I don't want to have sex. So
Yeah, I mean, have you ever paid for a Plan B for a girl? It's $50.
hold up, let me see what I got in here.
No, that's okay.
I have, it's an option 2. Chris, can you zoom in on that? It's maybe a bit overexposed. I have an option 2. That's the off-brand
Yeah.
Plan B, but just in case, just in case. But
Love.
I think I've paid for a Plan B before. Yeah. By the way, we can talk about uncomfortable topics.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of the comments being like, oh, like she thinks not having sex with her boyfriend is like gonna affect SCOTUS. Like, it's not about that. It's about doing something, like what Coco said. It's about doing something, and that's like, I'm not gonna go into it, but that's not the only thing I'm doing. Like,
Sure.
there's
yeah.
many levels to ways that you can speak out and act against such a thing, like the government being
Okay.
shitty.
I really like that question.
Which one?
Well, we'll
the
pull up the
Roe-
question, Chris. Okay, Stephen Krug, $5 super chat. Will the Roe v. Wade overturn to help the underpopulation growth crisis or hurt it? Seem like there's frequently less people having babies. I mean, that's a very multifaceted question.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, Roe v. Wade only applies to the United States, which is a small proportion of the world. And so, I mean, and also in addition to Roe v. Wade being overturned, it's not, some states still, you can still get an abortion in some states. So long term, I don't think it'll have a huge impact on underpopulation, but I'm happy to turn it to the panel and if they want to give their take.
This is just my opinion, but I think that it could potentially hurt it just because a lot of women are going to be forced to have these children, even if they don't want to, due to the state that they live in. Yeah, I mean, unless they have the money to go somewhere where they can get an abortion, even if it's not safe, then other people are going to be forced to have children that, they necessarily might not have wanted to have, or the instance just was a little fucked up and they just didn't want to have a child with that person, but they still wanted to have a child. You know what I mean? So it could potentially hurt the growth crisis.
Okay. Samantha?
Yeah, I could definitely see it going a few ways. Maybe people would become more intentional and then they would be, they'd be clear about who they're connecting with, and that could, I don't know, that could make the whole sexual connection like more intentional overall, or people could just refuse to have sex and that would definitely hurt the population. Or there's option 3, people can start to learn tantra and the male can actually reabsorb the sperm up, and women can have a much better understanding of like when they're ovulating or when they're not, and that's just like deeper body awareness.
Okay. Brooke?
What was the question?
So,
Oh, yes.
Population.
I don't know enough to say anything constructive about, or like to respond to that. So I'm not sure.
Going off of what Coco said, forcing people to do certain things, I think, can also lead to like mental health issues, which also can lead to death. So it could possibly overturn the underpopulation growth if people choose to take like the unsafe route and things like that.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. Let's see here. So where were we before we got onto this Roe v. Roe v. Wade thing?
I'm gonna tell you that.
Chris, can you pull back up the chart? Yeah, we were on the chart. So I think it would be curious to know, like, certainly how this has changed since 2018. It's maybe increased a little bit, but
Is this in the U.S.?
I'm not sure. I assume it's a poll that was taken within the U.S. So, yeah. Let's see. Can you
Also-
show, Chris? Can you pull switch to the next tab?
Yes.
So this is another one. This is from okcupid. Number of messages received versus recipient's attractiveness. It might be a bit too big. Chris, can you try to mouse over it and just, I think if you control mouse wheel, it'll zoom it.
So the blue.
Oh, a
light
little,
blue
a
is
little,
male.
a little bigger, Chris. Okay, so fortunately, our screen's kind of blocking it a little bit. But so, and this is on the dating app okcupid, and it's measuring female recipients versus male recipients. So you'll see the male recipients line on the very bottom there. And so basically what you have is most attractive men are getting about the same messages as the medium attractiveness woman there, it looks like. And then the most attractive women are just getting a ton flooded of messages. And then I think, is there one more, Chris? One more chart? Can you scroll out on this one? So this is, again, from okcupid. And this is, I guess, a study that they had done. I'm not sure the year on it, but how men rate women versus how women rate men on okcupid. And you'll see that there's a pretty even distribution there on the top. So the top one is how men rate women, and the bottom one is how women rate men. So that's an interesting one. Would you guys agree, like, of the guys that you see on dating apps, like, vast majority of the men you do not think are attractive? We'll start with Coco.
I've never used a dating app genuinely. I've made a dating app for a pineapple once.
What's a pineapple?
An actual pineapple.
Like a dating app
Like,
for a pineapple.
like I literally like put the profile picture as a pineapple. I've just never taken that seriously, so I wouldn't know.
Samantha?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't been too serious on them, but I do feel like majority like wouldn't be people that I would be dating. Not majority, but I don't know. I think Hinge is actually pretty good, I think. But when I did the Facebook dating app, like, that was like not great.
Facebook isn't.
I thought you were gonna say good.
I mean, it is good because it's like a bigger pool, but it's not good because it's like a lot to filter through, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know what you're looking for, so it just depends on what kind of people are on each different app, because I think Tinder has a certain sort of user pool, and Bumble and Hinge are a little more serious. I forget what the initial question was again, but what was the question?
The dating apps.
The dating,
Like the chart
Like,
that
are
we
they-
saw,
Yeah.
like, of the men that you see on dating apps.
Oh, right,
like,
the ratings.
What percentage of men would you say you swipe left on versus you swipe right? That's another way to.
Very, very low.
Okay.
Very low. And that's just personal preference, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay. Big D.
Yeah, I definitely swipe left way more than swiping right. And I think that is one thing I realized about dating apps is that you just get you look at the pictures mostly, and if you're not attracted to them like physically, you're gonna swipe left. Whereas people that I've met in person, and I definitely would say I'm more of like friends to dating rather than like strangers to dating, you know. I would prefer friends to dating. And so people that I meet in person, if they're not as attractive but their personality makes up for it, I think it can definitely make someone look way more attractive. And that's the thing about dating sites. I feel like you just base it off of physical traits first, and you kind of miss out on the ones that are maybe not as attractive but has a golden personality.
Got it. So as far as kind of bringing this back to one of the initial questions is like, who's having more sex, men or women? My take would be, my take is that I think it's women who are having more sex than men. There's that graph there. I think it's harder for men to get sex. One thing you can look at that I think kind of would suggest that this is the case, if guys were getting more consistent sex, they probably wouldn't feel the need to go to the strip club. They wouldn't need to pay for OnlyFans, for porn, all this stuff.
I totally disagree with you.
You disagree. That's totally fine. Feel free to disagree. I'm happy to hear your take. What do you disagree on?
I think people supporting sex work is like totally different from them like actually having sex with a partner, if that makes sense.
So I'm not saying that a man can't consume can't consume porn or can't go to the strip club and also be sexually active. But what I'm saying is that these things would be in much less demand if I think men were having more sex or had an easier time getting sex. Because if you were just having sex, not to say that people don't watch porn guys don't watch porn if they're dating a girl, but I think it would be much further reduced, especially OnlyFans. You can disagree.
I totally disagree.
Feel free to disagree. If you think...
I think I watch more porn now that I'm in a relationship and like than I did when I wasn't in one.
Well, is that because of the sex strike, though?
No.
Because of the sex strike? Yeah.
I just think discovering like people putting content out there and they're like looking to make a living off of it. They're looking to like gain an audience off of like their bodies is like totally acceptable, and I think it should be supported by anyone regardless of like if you're having sex with someone or not. Like I think sex work is super important.
Well, I'm not saying that sex work is bad. I'm just saying that men wouldn't turn to it to going to strip clubs, paying for porn, paying for OnlyFans if they had more access to sex. Because one of the things that, are you familiar with OnlyFans?
Yes, of course.
Do you have one or?
Not on my, no, I don't stream.
Okay. So one of the, I think, components of OnlyFans is guys who maybe they can't get a girlfriend, they can't get a relationship. They turn to that because there is a component of OnlyFans, which it's not just about the nude photos, but it's the interaction. And a lot of guys don't have that interaction. And, we had some strippers on last show. 2 of the girls were strippers. And, they report that a lot of guys come, and it's not even so much about a physical thing. It's about they want to talk. They want to have a conversation. They want to have a connection, even if, no, it's serious. It's legit. You can laugh, but like me personally, I don't really go to strip clubs. I went like twice a decade ago out of curiosity, but there are guys that will go to strip clubs to try to have a connection with a woman because they either don't have it in real, not all guys. There's certainly guys that are married, they go to strip clubs, whatever. But there are those guys that seek out, they want that connection with a woman and they go to a strip club to get it. It might not be the best way to do it, but.
Yeah, maybe some people go for that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough guys to have any opinion. Someone said, "Ooh, L for boyfriend." Actually, it's definitely a win for him. So you can shut the fuck up.
But so I guess like what specifically do you disagree with?
I mean, I think I've already said it. Like, I think it's a whole, I mean, I guess, yeah, people are looking for connections, but it's also sort of like an art. Maybe as a woman, I understand it a little bit better than, like, the way that we're, like, showing off our body. Like, I don't know. I don't have an opinion, I guess.
No, by the way, if any of you disagree with anything I say, I'm not going to be offended. I think it's totally okay to.
I guess I
disagree
can't
with him.
predict if like men were getting more sex, if like there would be less men going to strip clubs. Like, I guess.
Well, can I ask a question? Has any girl at this table ever paid for porn? Coco?
Paid for porn?
Paid for porn?
No.
Including OnlyFans?
Oh, yes.
You've paid for OnlyFans?
Yes.
A girl's OnlyFans or a guy's OnlyFans?
A girl's OnlyFans.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So I would say that as far as it relates to sex work, since we're kind of on that topic, Brian Cap, I saw him at the strip club last week.
Stop the cap.
No, yeah, I'm not a fan of strip clubs. By the way, Will Smith, where's your buddy Bill Gates? Last show, you and Bill Gates were getting into it, so maybe, I don't know, maybe he's somewhere else. Kind of just to riff on the topic of sex work, do you think it'd be okay for a guy to not want to date a girl or take seriously a girl who had an OnlyFans or was a stripper? Do you think that's okay if he was like, you know what?
To not respect her? Is that
No.
what he said?
To not want to date her.
Oh, I mean, whatever people are comfortable with. If that's too risky or uncomfortable for them, then that's totally understandable.
Okay.
But it goes both ways.
Right. But you wouldn't find it objectionable for a guy to say, you know what? If a girl, she did porn, she did OnlyFans, she was a stripper, I don't want to date her. I don't want to take her seriously.
We'll take her seriously. That's another thing. But I think people who are in that like field have the capability of maintaining a committed relationship. It's just people aren't willing to realize that.
Okay.
I don't know. It's, people have their preferences. Like, they're more than just partner and partner relationships. There's open relationships. Like,
Sure.
Everyone's different. Everyone
Sure.
needs and wants something different.
Yeah. And there's certainly some guys out there, I think, that won't have an issue dating a woman who did porn or
Right.
who's a stripper, and it's not an issue for them. But I do think I think a good amount of men, for a serious relationship, I think they would have an issue.
Well, that's
With-
on them,
with-
not to be honest.
With
That's about attachment and commitment issues.
No, I don't think it's an insecurity thing. I think it's just a preference.
Eh.
Like, I don't, in the same way that, you might have a preference for a guy to meet certain standards, it might be a preference or a standard or boundary for a guy to say, I don't want a girl who is on stage showing her hoo-ha, or I don't want a girl who's having sex on camera, or who even had sex on camera in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You can disagree. If you
do.
hate me, okay, that's fine.
I don't hate you, but
She doesn't
I
hate
disagree.
me. You disagree. Let's go around the table and just get people's thoughts on this. Coco,
I'm sorry, but I have to go.
you got to go?
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay.
All right. I will see you guys soon.
Bye,
Thank you so
Coco.
much for having me on the show. I really
All right.
appreciate
Yeah, no
it.
worries. Thank you for
Everyone
coming.
Safe.
Thank you for coming. All
Thank you
righty.
guys so much.
See ya.
Hope to see you guys soon.
Bye-bye. Okay. We're down to 3. So, Samantha, do you want to answer the question?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So, whoops. So, would you take issue or object to a guy having a problem with a girl's past in terms of if she's had an OnlyFans, if she's had, she did porn, etc.?
Well, I think, I feel like when you're picking your partner, it's like, what are they spending their days doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the same vibe? I feel like that's kind of just like normal. I don't necessarily know if it's just because the woman's doing that. Like, because I think some guys might love that. You know, some guys might be like, oh my gosh, like, I love that my girlfriend does that, you know. And there's other people that would just trigger all of their jealousy or insecurities and just probably wouldn't be an appropriate relationship for that person, but maybe it would be amazing for someone else, you know.
And I think you kind of already answered that,
Yeah.
Big D.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know, because I feel like in a way you want to, if you don't, I guess it is different to have respect for someone and then if they would be like a dating partner. So yeah, I get it's more of a preference. Like, I guess there would be some occupations that I wouldn't want like my boyfriend to be or things like that. So as long as you don't have like, you don't look down on someone or like disrespect them for the job that they have or how they make their money.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
What, and you mentioned there would maybe be some jobs that you wouldn't want your long-term partner to have.
Yeah, I'm
Can you
trying
speak
to
about
think
that?
of like what would be, but maybe if it was more just like a stability thing, like maybe if he's like a freelancer or something and it's not like very reliable, maybe something like that.
Mhm.
Like, I probably wouldn't prefer to have a partner that is a freelancer, I guess.
Okay.
There's no problem with being a freelancer though.
A guy who's a freelancer,
Yeah.
like a
Like-
journalist or
just like, I guess it doesn't have like, it has different gigs, I guess.
Okay,
Just
like a
not
hustle culture
not
type
like
thing.
a stable
Got it.
job, I guess.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon. I know we got a super chat, Chris. Why don't we just read that and then we'll wrap up. If you guys want to have one last question to ask the panel, feel free to get your super chats in. Shy Lucero, that's your friend, right?
That is
Boys
my
who get hung up on
friend.
sex work are cringe.
420.
Ayo.
420. Thank you, Shy, for the 420
Appropriate.
super chat.
Let's go, Shy.
What is that? So, I mean, does the panel agree? I know, Brooke, you probably agree with this statement.
Hung up on sex work? Well, I'm literally listening to a murder podcast right now where he's like literally like kills sex workers, which is not just
my
cringe but
gosh.
fucking awful. But I think I agree with that. I have a friend who brags about how he gets like free premium OnlyFans content from being on like dating apps, like being on Bumble, and people will just kind of like throw it at him. It is very cringe.
Samantha, agree with this statement or disagree?
No comment.
No comment?
Like, hung up, if you
Yeah,
mean
I'm not sure what. Well, hung up on sex
I would think
work.
of it as like,
I mean,
some of these comments here that are like, I would never, or like, betas are for, I don't fucking know, like shit like that. Like, yeah, like, don't be like that. But
yeah. I mean,
if you're like open-minded, cool. But like,
right.
if you're just like absolutely not because she's a sex worker, like, come on, she's a person.
But I guess we have to sort of figure out hung up in what sense. Like,
Yeah.
is that just in response to like some guys would have an issue dating a woman who did sex work?
I think it's that they don't date women because they
Well,
live their whole sex life online. Maybe.
The men or the women live their whole sex life online?
Like the guys, like they literally, like that's kind of what an incel is. They like just kind of live online and don't actually communicate with real life.
Yeah, I
Like-
have no idea what that
But I mean, most women aren't sex workers, though.
is. Like, what's
No,
an
I
incel?
know, but they kind of live their sex life like through their computer screen because they think that like paying for all this premium content is like them like getting like actual attention. It's
But like, I mean, but also, I mean, all these sex workers, like, what a blessing, right? Because
Exactly.
it's like they release so much pressure for all of these men, and it's like, if we didn't have them, who knows what else would be going on? You know, it's like, why put all the stigma on something that's just touch and pleasurable? You know, I think that there's just caked on religious programming around sexuality, but actually, it's you're just having a deep connection with somebody. Obviously, like, you know, they get very dramatic or whatever in that. But, you know, it's just art. It's just expression.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you think that so you don't think that a guy having a problem like dating a woman who's done porn, done sex work, done OnlyFans, like, so you're not okay with it, or you think it's cringe if a guy like has an issue with it for someone he dates?
Yeah, I think I just said it. It's like, I mean, the person can decide if he wants to date this person or not, but I just mean like celebrating the women that do sex work, because it's like a really big job, you know. So I think I'm just saying both.
Yeah. I don't think that women should be like necessarily shamed for doing sex work or anything, but I do think that in the same way that women are allowed to have preferences, standards, boundaries, I think men are totally within their right to say, hey, I wouldn't want to have her I think she should be free to do it. I have nothing against it, but as far as what I'd want in a partner, I wouldn't want to have a long-term relationship with a girl who did porn, did sex work. So I don't know if it's, when you say hung up on sex work or cringe, I mean, I don't know if hung up, I think it's actually a perfectly reasonable stance for a guy to say, hey, I just don't want to date a woman who has done sex work. It's not necessarily a judgment on sex work, but as far as what you want in a partner, I think it's a pretty reasonable thing. So,
but I think if everything is absolutely perfect with the person and the only reason you don't want to date them is because they're a sex worker, I think that is the result of stigma of sex work.
Is it I mean, so
it's like you don't want to date them because you look down on sex work. If she is perfect in every way and the only reason you don't want to date her is because she's a sex worker.
I mean, couldn't it, I guess there's varying levels of sex work, right? Like, I think it'd be perfectly reasonable if the girl you're talking to, she's an active porn actress, and that means she's fucking other men. I think it's perfectly reasonable as a guy to say, I enjoy monogamy. I would not be comfortable with you sleeping with other men while we're intimate.
I see what you're saying, but I also do think in her eyes, obviously this is my opinion too, in her eyes, like, she's not in a relationship with those people. It's her job.
But she's having sex with...
So you're saying a monogamy sexual relationship?
I mean, most monogamous relationships, when we speak about monogamy, we are speaking kind of the holistic, we're speaking sexually when we're speaking about monogamous relationships. I mean, certainly there's an emotional component, like if you're flirting with a guy, you're not having sex with him, that could be considered cheating. But I mean, I think that's sort of the ultimate way cheating would manifest itself, at least as viewed by men. If you're in a monogamous relationship with a girl and she's sleeping with other men, you're not really in a monogamous relationship.
It's just her job.
See, that's, I think, the difference.
No.
I think...
I mean, what else is it? I don't really think she's
what
emotionally invested in it.
But it's not about being emotionally invested. It's about...
It's the physical part of it.
Yeah, I mean, she's sleeping with... she's having sex with somebody else. So she's not really committed to you.
Then I guess at that point, they're just not the right people for each other. If she loves what she's doing, and he can't stand that, at that point, it's kind of like, why would you be together?
But you think that it would be okay if you're in a monogamous relationship, but she does porn, it's okay if she's sleeping with another dude. At that point, it's not really a monogamous relationship, is it?
I think they themselves as this actress or the porn star would find it to just like strictly be her job, like as their profession, I think.
Okay.
So to them, it wouldn't be like a threat to their relationship.
Yeah.
But so would there be an expectation on the guy to not sleep with other women? He's not a porn star.
Okay.
Because that's not his job.
Yeah.
He's not making money from
But
it.
so what you're saying is that she's a porn star, she's sleeping with other people, but it's not emotional. What if it's not emotional for him, but he's not a porn star? Under those circumstances, would it be okay?
I also think it's like, also if you think about it, it's a job and he's not doing it as a job. Like this supports her life. Like that's her
I
way of
understand.
income,
I understand that. And if the guy knows going in, like, but it's not gonna, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a monogamous relationship. Mono, one. Like it's just not, it can't be a monogamous relationship. It could be perhaps unilateral. It could be unilaterally, like she's sleeping with all these other guys. He's loyal to her. I mean, I suppose that, I don't think that's a great scenario for the guy, but
I think it's all about emotional maturity. I think if he can handle it, that's so great, awesome. If he can't, then what's the point of like being jealous or like being salty about her doing her job? There's no point. She's doing her job. She's making her money. She can support herself.
But do you think that a guy who wouldn't want to date a woman,
then he just shouldn't do it.
But do you think he's emotionally immature
I
if he
don't
wouldn't be
know.
willing to date a woman who was actively, sleeping with other men for her porn career?
I think it's fine to say I would never date someone that's a porn star.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get jealous about it, if you enter a relationship and then get like
Of
upset
course.
about it, then that's your problem to deal with.
Of course. I mean, if she's disclosed that she does porn, you kind of, it's what you're signing up for, you can't really, say, hey, I didn't know this was going to be the case. Like, so we got some interesting comments coming through. Chris, we're going to wrap up the show here in just a couple minutes. Chris, can you just pull up the few super chats we received?
Yes. We have a super chat here from someone that wants to know a little more about you, Brian.
Brian, I watched Mr. Mojo Ryzen. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. Brian, I watched you a lot back in high school around 2013. You gave me a lot of laughs, man. What's the details about your new talk show? So we actually did our first interview podcast yesterday. I had a ex-convict, ex-gang member on. Did a really cool in-depth interview with him. His name's Brandon. Really good guy. No, he's a good guy. Sorry, I'm kind of zapped. We've been at this for almost 3 hours now. So once a week, I'm going to be doing an interview show, bring on an interesting guest, one-on-one, have a long-form conversation. And then I'm doing this dating talk show, which will be like twice a week. And yeah, I would just bring on a panel and just shoot the shit about dating for a little bit.
They want to know about your sister.
Oh, God.
Also,
your sister was... He also asked... Thank you, by the way, for the $2 super chat. Also, your sister was a babe. How's she doing? I'm assuming you're talking about Andrea. So Andrea was not my sister. She was... a lot of people thought Andrea was my sister, but honestly, I haven't talked to Andrea in like 6-7 years now. I think she's doing good. I'm not sure exactly what she's doing. But yeah, I haven't really spoken to her. We had a bit of a falling out. So I think that's it, Chris, with the super chats.
We have some Twitch activity, some Twitch.
Yeah,
live.
let's pull up Twitch real quick. Okay. Can you just scroll down? I want to make sure. Okay, scroll back up. All the way to the top. Okay. Munico has subscribed with Prime. Hey, man, Munico, really appreciate the support, man. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. And you can switch back to the other thing, Chris. By the way, does anyone know why Coco left? Was it getting too heated?
She had something with her friends.
Something
she
with her
told
friends?
us in the beginning, too, that she would have
Yeah,
to leave.
but, well, no, it sounded like something about getting a ride home or something. I think it was getting a bit too heated for her. That was my impression. I don't know.
I think she was on her phone and got a message and needed to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it was,
thought
it was
that
a little.
fine.
Yeah, she's on her phone's a little abrupt. So I don't know. I think.
Maybe someone was watching the live.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, you gotta go."
She said, "Get
Okay,
off
cool.
now."
Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. We have our next show Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. So in 2 days, we're going to be doing another dating talk show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for my panel for tuning in. Much appreciate or for coming. Sorry, guys, I'm frazzled. 3 hour podcast. Thank you guys. 7 p.m. Thursday. We'll see you then. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.